Hey guys, welcome back to another Call of Duty Modern Warfare video, and today we're going to be talking about Tuesday's February 25th 1.15 patch update notes, and we'll go over some of the highlights there. And of course, if you guys do want to see the point by point, I'll leave a link to the patch notes below this video. Before we get started, I do want to welcome all of you who are new here to the Call of Duty content here on the channel, as well as returning visitors. I'd also like to remind both of you guys that if you follow me on Twitter and Instagram, I do post daily short video content from both Battlefield and Call of Duty. Starting it off, we did receive the new map, Bazaar. Of course, many of us did see Infinity Ward tease this map in a video not too long ago, but nonetheless, we now have the introduction of Bazaar, and I'm kind of looking forward to jumping in and checking it out. The team added Shoot House to an existing playlist with Shipment and Rust 24/7, which they are now calling the Dirty Old Houseboat. There is a new 3v3 mode for snipers on Rust, and we have Giant Infection. Now, the team put out a tweet that said that the Giant Infection playlist was giving out a little too much experience, so they've rolled out a playlist update to remove the mode while they work on a fix. Now, what I had heard from some players is that there was an issue also with the knives, or the inability to throw any of the knives, and that people were rushing the gas station to then get on top of the roof and then just shoot down on all the infected players, which was making it pretty imbalanced and almost impossible for really any of the infected to make any kind of progress. So it makes sense that the team went ahead and pulled it, but we'll keep an eye on it and see what they end up doing with it nonetheless. As we mentioned on Monday when we went over the Infinity Ward community update notes, Boots on the Ground Ground War was introduced, but it was introduced in Realism mode, with Realism rule sets, of course, which means no UI. But many of us were kind of probably hoping that it was going to be just a standard rotation of the Ground War maps with no tanks and APCs, but they may have introduced it in Realism mode to kind of see if there is enough enthusiasm, enough motivation, and enough people who really wanted to play it. And from those metrics, they'll probably, hopefully, introduce a standard Ground War rotation that we can all play on with no tanks and APCs. But again, that'll be yet another thing that we'll have to keep an eye on, but it's something I'm hoping for. In general fixes, I'm happy to see that the team addressed a bug where friends who are on the social tab were not always appearing on the top of the list. The team is continuing to address exploits on various maps, and some additional fixes were made to regiment tags. We talked about this on Monday, where apparently people were able to change the colorations, which was creating confusion in some of the rounds, and so people weren't able to make distinctions between teammates and enemies, so it would seem that the team is trying to get this corrected. Those who play Realism mode were probably very much looking forward to this fix to wipe Phosphorus, which was killing all players instantly, so I'm sure they were looking forward to this particular update. This update also included a variety of fixes to challenges, and of course those changes and fixes to weapons, to include a bug where weapons stop showing level progress one level before their max rank, giving the appearance that they are no longer gaining experience. We also saw a change to the Striker 45, fixing its range and ADS speed to match the description of the 300mm poly barrel. The standard Model 680 received a slight range increase, as well as the Model 680 XRK 30.0 Sport. It had its range increased, but there was a slight range decrease and ADS increase to the Model 680 XRK 18-inch Liberator, the R90 Force TAC Sentry, and the Origin 12 Forge TAC Precision. It would appear the team wanted to make the underbarrel shotgun a little more appealing for players, so they increased the pellet count, reduced the rate of fire, increased the shell count to 8, then tuned auto swap after ammo is complete, and then increased the range for the underbarrel shotgun. I've yet to unlock the crossbow, but once I do, and of course for those who are using it, you'll notice that they increased the reload speed. The team did fix a bug where the Akimbo Snake Shot 357 did not register damage for both guns when fired at the same frame. So if you guys were having issues with that, it would appear the team has made that fix. The SA-87 12.4 factory barrel had its recoil reduced. There was an increased close and mid-range damage for the AK using the 5.45 by 39mm round magazines. Special Operations Survival, and Classic Special Operations had some additional fixes to correct some bugs that players were experiencing on console. And in closing in the notes, the team mentions they are addressing performance issues that we have been experiencing as PC players. So basically what happens is we get into a game, the map begins to load, and then after a few minutes, we simply get disconnected. Or we do get into the round, and then as we're playing, we get disconnected. So this has been going on now for about 2 months, I believe. The team did reach out to me through Twitter, and I kind of explained to them what we had been experiencing. But for me in particular, I was getting disconnected while the map was loading, while some of my guildmates were getting disconnected while we were playing the round. So I'm really hoping these performance fixes is going to address our problems. And that's going to wrap it up for Tuesday, February the 25th update notes from Infinity Ward. I want to thank all you guys for your continued participation here on the channel, and would encourage you to click that like button, as your support is always appreciated. And of course, appearing right there on the screen, that would be the obligatory channel icon that you guys can click on to subscribe, as well as marking those notifications. If you are following on BitChute and DTube, guys, I would ask you to give me a subscribe there as well. That way, all of you guys will have all the latest news and information from Call of Duty Modern Warfare.